like to think we're in control of our lives, don't we? But not for one family. They had their lives taken over 20 years ago when everything went a bit prickly.
All started in 1987, some people having a bonfire.
We don't know who they were, but they're the people who started it all.
Look, what's that? I don't know, quick, go get it, it's going over there.
They needed help with what they'd found, and so they came to us.
Oh no, well, that's terrible. I don't really know what we can do, but I suppose you'd better bring it over.
I'm not quite sure why they contacted us. I did work at an animal charity, but in the merchandise department, so...
And how do you look after a hedgehog?
Exactly.
What are we going to do?
I don't know.
Wildlife Rescue? Hello?
It started with just one hedgehog. Since then, Dave and Annette have looked after thousands.
And now they run the Folly Wildlife Rescue Trust in Eridge Green in Kent, because one hedgehog led to another.
The next year another one came in.
Another one, then word got around that we were doing hedgehogs,
Yeah.
and then, you know, the floodgates opened. Eventually, within a couple of years, we were taking in dozens
Word
and
gets
dozens
around.
and dozens of them.
This is a classic case of a situation snowballing out of control. Dave and Annette suddenly found they were the ones people turned to for help with sick and injured wildlife, and not just hedgehogs.
And then what happened was somebody bought a baby bird.
Yes.
And we thought, oh, we'll have a go at baby birds. You know, just that won't be too much trouble. And I think that's where it all went wrong.
Yeah.
Dave and Annette realised this was turning into a big operation and they had to act. So in 1993 they moved into their present house in Eridge Green, which had more space for the animals, and they went full time. They set themselves up as a charity and devoted their house, their garden and themselves to looking after wild animals.
And this is our intensive care shed where we bring the animals in for initial assessment and treatment.
As you can see, this used to be our garage, and now it's used for the intensive, post-intensive care hedgehogs and birds. At the bottom of the garden here, we have one of the sets of aviaries. And here in these aviaries, we've got various pigeons with injuries that mean that they can't go back to the wild for one reason or another.
And this is our ambulance, and it's packed with equipment which we use for rescuing wildlife.
This is the paddock where we keep all the enclosures where animals stay until they're released.
And now Dave and Annette look after about 3,000 animals every year, mostly hedgehogs. I've never held one before.
Haven't you?
Can I hold
Would you like
her?
to?
Yeah.
Here we are.
Is it okay to hold them? Because these are meant to be going out in the wild.
Back out to the wild, yes. It won't affect them.
Little wet nose.
Wet nose.
Very inquisitive.
Yeah.
I think most people have got a sort of an affection for hedgehogs anyway. It's sort of, you know, it's inborn with all of us. On top of that, they're very cute. They don't really sort of do any harm. You know, they're good in the garden. The way they get on with their little lives, just ambling around, you know, they're quite sweet little creatures, and they have a pretty rough time actually. So I think, you know, we should all be sort of more appreciative of hedgehogs.
Have you got a real love for them?
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
They're the most...
You didn't tell me they had
Sometimes they
teeth.
bite.
He's not ill, he's just hungry. Oh, he's all shy now, pretending.
Yeah, gone camera shy.
Of course, Dave and Annette couldn't cope with all this on their own. They have the support of a local vet who makes sure they're doing the right thing for the animals. And they have 2 part-time staff in the summer and about 30 volunteers to give them a hand.
I quite enjoy it actually. I'd rather do this than actually do housework at home, which seems strange. It seems more rewarding because you feel like you're doing something, helping them.
When they're fully recovered, the hedgehogs are released back where they were found in the spring. And it's not just hedgehogs. There's plenty of other creatures that need help at the Wildlife Trust.
We're all very fond of baby pigeons in this place because they just, people don't see baby pigeons, do
He's
they? You
such
don't
a
see them
character.
looking like that, and they are characters. They're much
Strange
maligned
looking.
pigeons, yeah.
I'll put you back.
But inevitably, their core business is hedgehogs.
You mostly have hedgehogs here. Why are they so vulnerable?
Unfortunately, being in close proximity to humans, that's their undoing, really.
For instance, bonfires are bad news for hedgehogs.
They nest in bonfires. It's best to move it to a different site just before you light it so that there's no danger of something nesting in there.
And these are one of the worst things. So many hedgehogs are injured by strimmers. You have to check the ground first before you start. Just run your fingers through it to make sure there aren't any hedgehogs in there, because very often hedgehogs do lie out in the open, especially on hot days. So just check it first. They can do a tremendous amount of damage.
Dave and Annette have given up their lives to look after wildlife, and in a way, their home as well.
Right, oh dear, it can be a bit of a trial.
What to do? Christmas cakes.
Members of the public bring animals in. There's animals everywhere. There's people everywhere. We've just given up, really. I mean, that's the name of the game. We just accept it.
If I've still got one, I'll bring it
Would you like a cup of tea, Annette?
I'd love a cup of tea, yes, please, Dave.
Usually by about sort of 10 o'clock at night, it's quieting down. You know, so we get sort of 10 minutes.
Dave and Annette's dream is to raise enough money to build a dedicated wild animal hospital somewhere else, somewhere in Eridge Green, but not in their house. Then they would finally get their home back for their retirement.
Dave and I, as we get older, can step back a bit, but know that we've left it
There's a legacy,
to
really, yes.
to carry
yes.
on.
Do you not want to sometimes just turn away a
I do
few...
want to have a break, yes,
Yeah.
that would be really nice. And we've had a few afternoons and the odd day.
An afternoon? You need a holiday.
Where we've just gone down to the coast and sat and sort of just looked and think, oh, take a break.
Slept.
You know, and gone for a few walks and things, but that's about it. You know, it is a total commitment. They're easy to keep clean.
But in the meantime, they press on with the work that has to be done.
Tuck her in. That's her duvet cover.
And to think all this started from just one tiny hedgehog.
We moan a bit sometimes, but it's a pretty satisfying
Overall,
thing to do.
no regrets.
No regrets, no.